Welcome to Respect is Growing. My name is Vanessa if you're new, or if you've seen me before, thank you again for watching another one of my videos. Today we are going to be demonstrating how you can furnish or decorate your home on a budget. I believe that this is an important concept and idea that we all need to get more comfortable with, because it's no surprise furniture and pillows and accessories and everything else are expensive. Personally, my husband and I aim to live a frugal life because we want to save as much money as we possibly can, and this is one way that we're able to do that. That being said, the big question is, how do you have this come to life? How can you actually do this? Furnish an entire home in a frugal mindset. So today I'm going to show you exactly how we did that. We will be going through our living room this afternoon and I will show you item by item how we filled our space with minimal cost. Please ignore all of the toys and the mess. As anyone can attest to, having a toddler in a house, and this just happens on a daily. I like to keep it real as much as possible, and this is a reality for us. Out of this entire room that you're seeing right now, only 3 items were purchased brand new. The big items we're discussing are our sofa, the end table, which is on the side of the sofa, and finally this bookcase, which I happened to have purchased years ago. I was probably in my early 20s, way before I met my husband, and this was mine before that. As you can see, that's clearly not everything we have in our living room, so let me walk you through each piece as to how we ended up with it and made this kind of unified area. We'll begin over here. We were thankfully and lovingly gifted this love seat, which we do have plans to reupholster in the future, but for the moment we're going to live with this floral pattern. But this is a big piece of furniture which would have genuinely cost us quite a bit of money, and frankly it's not a purchase that we would have been making anytime soon. So this is actually just a blessing. Thank you, Violet, once again. And along with that, it came with 2 pillows, but additionally we got these 2 additional geometric pillows for free from a friend, and while they don't complement this exactly, like I said, we do have plans for reupholstering, and therefore it'll eventually all make sense. Right behind me you're seeing a Curio Cabinet. This is specifically a corner unit that we needed for this space. All our little goodies are in there, little sentimental items, and we bought this through Facebook Marketplace for $80. It will be for another day, but that additional dresser you're seeing in the background was once again gifted to us by a lovely friend, Violet. Once again, thank you. This very large rug was also gifted to us for free. You're gonna sense a theme throughout this whole video. Free is a price that we happen to love. And this is filling our whole space. Prior to this, we had 2 rugs, which we made work, and it was fine. But it's nice to have this one unit. Now moving along to our entertainment area, my husband found this unit that our TV sits on along with the sound bar, and it was actually going to be thrown away. It was in perfect condition, so we went ahead and we took it, and now we've been using it since we lived in our home. The TV was a gift for my husband long before I was in the picture, for Christmas, and it's still in perfect condition. We don't feel the need to replace it. Our coffee table is another thrifty find, or make actually. It's a thrifty make. My husband had this piece of glass which was lying around and had been given to him from a friend. Thank you, Auntie Iga. And then the piece of wood that makes the base of this unit is something he found on the side of the road. Again, if you are looking around enough and you have the right motivation, you can find pretty much anything out there. So he cut this and he designed it, and then we picked the stain out. This was just before we lived together actually, so I had some input into the color, but we both wanted like a darker base for this finish. This may seem familiar to you if you've seen the video for Liam's toy sorting. I'll link that here for you as well if you're interested. These cubbies that you're seeing here are actually just individual, so it starts here and it would end there, and my husband has put 6 together to form this big unit. Once again, this was free and we're just utilizing it for Liam's toy storage. Speaking of my husband, he has a YouTube channel. It's called Cooking with Ronald. Don't be deceived by the name though. There's DIYs on there, things that we're doing around our home that might be helpful to other people. Definitely worth a check. This shelving unit was another find my husband brought home from work. Again, it was going to be thrown out, not being kept, and again, wonderful condition. And so we've adapted it and brought it into our living room. This could also be familiar to you guys. My husband and I both made a video on this. Ronald has the behind the scenes making of this shelving unit, and I also did one where I was actually organizing what goes on here. We needed a new way to organize all our DVDs, and as you can see, a few other things have ended up on here. That's just life, things go that way. So now it's wall mounted, it's nice, and we get to see things a lot easier. If you check out my video in particular, you'll see how we were storing our DVDs before, and it just wasn't working for us. Welcome to our dining area. It's quite a large living room, so we divided it sort of visually, if you will. We don't have any walls in the way or anything, but we have this section which we use for living and entertainment, and this is dining. We used to use what is now Liam's room as a dining room, and of course when he came along we needed to make a little space for him. So we happen to like this. We use the table all the time now, which we did not use when it was in a separate space. Ultimately, I think that was an excellent decision for us to make anyways, even if it wasn't for Liam being in the picture. That being said, there's a few things to break down here. So the table itself, and you're only seeing 2 chairs, but we have 4 of them. And we bought this when we were just living together, maybe 6 months in or something. We were on the hunt. At the time, we were living in a 1-bedroom apartment, and we needed something that was on the smaller side, which happens to be very difficult to find. We were actually very surprised at the fact of that. But anyways, we found this one, this dining table, and the 4 chairs on Facebook. And then there's me, huh? Okay, buddy. It's time to say good. Have a nap, huh? Okay, let's go. Love you, Liam. Okay. Let's hope he has a nice ease into his sleep today. He definitely looked a little tired. In the end, we found the dining table along with 4 chairs on Facebook Marketplace for $80. That is a steal. Now, you're seeing a couple other things here. These upholstered chairs, you're also seeing one up there. My uncle was closing his business. These used to be in his rooms. He was a physiotherapist, so I guess for patients to put their things on. Anyways, they were offered to us and we like them because we like how tall they are and they're very comfortable actually. So now, again, our favorite price, free. Finally, you're seeing Liam's high chair. Last summer, my husband, son, and I were going for a walk, and we saw this literally at the side of the road. Someone must not have had a use for it anymore. And I took over with the stroller and Ronald carried it home. So again, our favorite price, free. Speaking of free, you're seeing 2 swivel high chairs for our bar area here. When we moved in, we knew we wanted these, but if you've done any sort of looking around, they're a bit expensive. So we were holding off Long story short, we were getting our blood work taken for our life insurance, and the nurse who came to the house, because at the time it was COVID, and it still is COVID, by the way, we all know that. So she said, I happen to be selling my home. When I do finally sell, I can just give you my two, because what she thought was interesting is this sort of design on the back mimicked what was in our dining chairs, and she said it's going to look really great for you too. So we said, of course, thank you, and we're always so appreciative when people reach out with their kindness. Along with this area, we've also made one other addition. Here we've added this footrest. This was pieces of wood we had in the back building, and Ronald went ahead and we took the measurements to what we wanted. He cut them and then stained it the same color, similar anyways to what we have in the rest of the living room area. This has proven to be a really nice addition, to be honest, because when you're sitting here, depending on your height, you can't always reach this bottom rung, and this is great height. Even my mom, who's about 5'2", can use this, and she loves it. This is a prime example of what you would be able to see on my husband's YouTube channel. All these DIYs, we try and incorporate those as much as possible. Now, this rocking chair has had a few homes in our house. We used to have this in the nursery when Liam was newborn and I was still nursing especially. Now it's here, and when we have visitors, especially my parents, my mom likes to use this, so we'll move it over into the living room area. This is sort of just a nice place to keep it when we're not using it for anything else. And this was from a family friend and free. Thank you to the Cahier family. This has definitely served us well. In fact, Ronald did have to make a few adjustments to this. I'll show you. When we first got this, the webbing that you see up here was completely gone. So Ronald, he just said it's not his best work, but this is just proving a point. Like, if it's free, sometimes you have to do a little bit of effort to make it work for you. And since he's done this, which is cutting the piece and then make sure it's stable, it's been wonderful. And nobody even sees it when the cushion's on. Another item to show you is a decor item, actually. So just remember, this idea is not limited to physical pieces of furniture. It could be anything you want to have in your space. The map you're seeing here, and along with all the writing and everything else, I first of all did the map on Photoshop, and then this is what we had at our wedding instead of one of those traditional books where people sign as guests. I really loved, I actually saw this idea initially on Etsy, and I love the concept because we're seeing where Ronald originated from in Uganda, Africa, and I grew up in Northern Ontario, Canada. So just to see that kind of visual of our differences, and then of course coming together in the end and getting married. So of course I made this, so that's one way that we saved money during our whole wedding planning process, which, if you're curious, I happen to have studied interior design at school, and in that I learned Photoshop. We did this all on Photoshop. We just then printed it at Staples, and then it was ready for our wedding day, specifically the reception. But the big thing is the actual frame that this is in. Once again, Ronald was at work. They were going to throw out this frame along with the picture, and instead we just repurposed it to have our world map with all the signatures from our wedding. If you're interested, I'll bring my husband along for that video, and we can do an entire discussion on how we planned our wedding and we made it a cost-effective event. But we did not sacrifice anything we wanted in the process. Alright, I really hope this video is interesting to you. I always find this interesting as a topic and a way of life and everything else that goes along with that. And of course, don't forget, we're going to be doing the rest of our rooms eventually. This is going to be a new series on my channel, so be aware that just keep an eye out for everything, and another video will be on its way. Alright, please consider a like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day or evening.